because I thought, and I said it, that Caleb Williams was going into the best spot in number one team. And listen, through 6 weeks, he was the first guy who was ever over 500 through 6 weeks as the number one pick. And the defense was great. And you got him all the weapons that we always wanted a Bears quarterback to have, but just the culture is so bad. So bad.
They laid
so
40.
Rotten.
Hey, before we get going, I want to talk about the beer sponsor of this show. It is Miller Lite. From defending your favorite team after a bad loss. Don't think we'll be doing that today.
I shan't be defending them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Indefensible.
I'm sorry, Miller Lite. I would like to defend them and be happy.
I'll defend Miller Lite.
Yes.
Miller Lite never lets me down.
That's actually, you know what? Yeah, they've never let me down either.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So delicious. I went to a burger place yesterday. You guys got Miller Lite? They're like, nah, we only got these fancy beers. I was like, all right, I'm not.
Don't even bother.
Just gonna have a water.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done. It was a place that's on your banned list, but
okay, makes a ton of sense.
Exactly,
a ton of sense. And here's the thing about quote unquote fancy beers: if you put Miller Lite in a blind taste test against any of these like micro brews or whatever, Miller Lite is kicking their teeth in. There's a reason why it's sold coast to coast, the number one beer in Chicago. It is great tasting. It is less filling. That's all you need.
It's only 96 calories.
It's only 96 calories for 12 ounces. Miller Lite is the absolute best. I'll take it against any beer on the planet.
Yeah, so make your game time taste like Miller Time. Tastes great and is less filling. Let it be both. To get your Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/midshow, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Just make sure you celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. All right, Big Bang, welcome to the stretch. The Bears lost yesterday to the Cardinals 29-9. And from a win-loss perspective, the season is effectively over.
Dead.
8 games we made it, guys.
Didn't make it to Thanksgiving.
They're ruining Thanksgiving, too.
I mean, yeah, we still will have the Thanksgiving joke that will eventually come with playing the Lions. Yeah.
We couldn't even make it to the gauntlet of the schedule.
Yeah.
No, we're just back in the exact same spot we've always been. Our optimism this summer, I'll never apologize for the optimism. And I think everyone in this room agreed that we wanted a different coach before this season, but once it was clear we weren't going to get one, I mean, I was literally making merch to try to get Jim Harbaugh to Chicago, but once they said that Matt Eberflus was going to be the coach, we kind of had no choice, knowing deep down that it was probably going to be a mistake, and now it's not deep down anymore. Very much out in the open.
The mistake is it was always a mistake. It's so much worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. The team quit. The team
is
quit.
Yeah. And that's something we did not see last year, even with...
That's the only thing he was applauded for.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
That's the only thing he was applauded for. But it goes top to bottom. The whole team played like shit yesterday. If you guys can tell me anything that went right, please do.
Torrey Taylor bombed the ball.
He also biffed a fucking drop kick on the safety.
Yeah.
A free kick. Nobody had a good game.
I think Rome Odunze is going to be really good. That's about it.
He dropped the ball too, though.
Yeah, he did.
He did. Cairo Santos, I mean, he makes everything.
Yeah.
Even in the hail.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, no, there's nothing else good. Everything else sucks. We suck. It's over because we quit, and the reason why it's like fully over is the offense has been so bad. I mean, they've had that little stretch where we played the Panthers and the Rams and the Jaguars. It looked nice, but outside of that, it's been bad. The one thing you could hang your hat on was that the defense always showed up, and Matt Eberflus, is very intimately involved with the defense. That was a weird way to put that. The defense quit yesterday. Montez Sweat being out. The calls, obviously, at the end of the half was terrible. We got run on. We got fucking bullied. We got just the shit kicked out of us.
Yeah, like I get, and everyone knows how much Montez Sweat matters, but to see our linebackers get swallowed up like they were Quentin Jaws is alarming.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst Tremaine Edmonds game I've seen.
He was bad
horrible.
yesterday.
James Conner looked like he was Barry fucking Sanders.
Yeah.
They had no answer for him.
You asked who played well. I don't know if he played well, like over the course of the whole 60 minutes, but there was one time I saw a legit tackle on James Conner and it was Jalen Johnson in the open field. Aside from that, he was the first 3 guys that were hitting him, he was just running through them every time he touched the ball.
And Dan, you said like you're not going to apologize for being optimistic, and
No.
I don't think we should either. Like, listen, as bad as that Texans game we lost by a touchdown.
Yeah.
We were in the game the whole time against the Colts.
Yeah.
We smoked the 2 bad teams, and then we played like shit for 3.5 quarters, but we found a way, and we should have won that game, barring a crazy
Against
Hail
Commanders,
Mary.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
No.
Beat the Rams too.
This was this, and people will probably disagree with this statement, but I fully believe it. Sunday against the Cardinals, to me, was 50 times worse than the Commanders.
Yeah, I'd agree.
The Commanders game was a fluke. Like, we were in the slog. We got out of the slog. We almost won that game. It was a fluke. Hail Mary. Obviously, the Stevenson thing was, like, so insane, and you can't have that. But, like, I'd rather get punched in the stomach like that, because I know how to cope with it, versus watching a team quit on TV.
Mm-hmm.
That was the worst game the Bears have played since we got our asses kicked by the Chiefs
Yep.
last year. So this team has played hard for essentially an entire, whatever it is, that's probably
year.
17
Over a
games.
year,
Yeah, over a year. And then the air just went out of the balloon yesterday.
And I think there was a very distinct moment when out of the balloon, because in a weird way, we were moving the ball in the stream. We're like, oh, all right. Early on, we've been bad offensively. They were actually doing a decent job moving the ball. They didn't close on it. A couple bad drops from Keenan Allen and Rome. But after that Jervon Dexter penalty, after a big goal line stand, you hit the snapper, and then they score a touchdown. You come back, Keenan kills the drive because he drops a touchdown. And then, of course, as soon as they scored right before half with 22 seconds left.
That was the real quit. That was
it.
the real quit.
That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that was the real quit.
That was it.
That was the moment. And Eberflus said after, I called a pass blitz and they ran the ball. But yeah, it's over. We're not gonna, they might play well against the Patriots because the Patriots are bad. But the Bears are bad too.
Yeah.
I don't want to pretend like we're not bad. We're bad. Like, this is like a Saints-Panthers situation where the Saints lose to the Panthers, and like Cam Jordan was like, wait, no, not Cam Jordan. Wait, what's his name?
Cam Newton?
No, not Cam Newton.
You said
Cam Jordan. Yeah. Was like, we just lost to the Panthers, and the Panthers player was like, dude, we have the same record.
Yeah.
Like, you're bad, we're bad. We're bad. I don't know, like, I'm not going to point my finger at anyone. We're bad.
But I don't think we're this bad.
I don't think the
Problem.
roster on paper is that bad.
Right.
No, it's
but
not.
what we saw yesterday, if that type of effort is there again, we're
Yes.
bad. We're one of
Correct.
the worst teams in the league.
Correct.
Yeah,
Well,
of course,
yeah.
if we decide to, all of a sudden start playing for Eberflus again, which I don't think they're going to. Like, you saw it last week, the guys started speaking out against Eberflus. The defense quit.
Yep.
I think DJ Moore even said today, I think he was on the score, and he said something like, he was like, did he lose the locker room? And he's like, I want to say no. I mean, that's yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
yes.
that's a
Yeah.
yes.
Well, and he even had a comment midweek being like how, because they all kind of called him out. And it's like, we have to keep it in-house going forward. And the first chance he gets is going on the score Monday, not exactly keeping it in-house. And for me, I think, and for everybody, the reason why today is so much worse is because we're right back where we've always been, where it's like you have John Fox, you keep him, you draft Trubisky, even though he wasn't involved in that process, rookie quarterback. All right, fire John Fox after a year, bring in Matt Nagy. All right, Trubisky's not the guy, but you keep Matt Nagy just to draft Justin Fields. All right, that doesn't work. Now you're doing the same fucking thing every year, every time.
This is not revisionist history. We said this at the time.
Yeah.
We said this in January, but we also just had, like, what's the option once you re-sign Eberflus?
No, you're supposed to just hope for the best.
Right.
And
And
that-
the best has not happened, and that's just what we keep doing, and we'll hire a real coach who can, like,
They lucked
leader
into
of
one
men.
20
Sure.
years ago with Lovie Smith.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
and I don't want to do the whole. I think there's also something going on around now where it's like you fired Lovey after 10-6. That was also like time and place. I think everyone was like, it's kind of probably time.
Yeah, definitely.
I know that it was a 10-6 team, but it wasn't like the defense was getting old.
Mm-hmm.
The offense wasn't improving with Jay. Like,
Apples to oranges. That's
Right,
like a
yeah.
James Franklin situation.
that's like you had to
Yeah.
have been. You had to remember it like I remember it and being like, I think everyone was kind of like, yeah, it's probably time.
There's
Get
a
over the
shelf
hump.
life for
Right.
every NFL
Right.
coach.
I mean, Andy Reid got fired
Yeah.
by the Eagles.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
like, that happened. Andy Reid.
10 years
was
is
the
a
best coach of all
long time. It was
Right.
probably time.
But still, the point remains that we have been searching for someone like Lovey, because Lovey was a very good coach for that period, and we have struck out 4 straight times, and we are back in the exact same spot. We keep getting the timelines wrong. And, I don't know. Now my worst fear is that we ruin Caleb Williams, which I think is already happening. He's not been good. His deep balls are inaccurate. He's also like I think what's happened in the last 2 weeks, maybe not the Commanders game, but definitely happened yesterday, was he went back to like trying to play a little hero ball.
Totally.
And it's like, dude, take the checkdowns. They're there. Like there are. I was just watching the film before I stepped in here, and I'm only like 20 minutes in, and it was just like there's checkdowns everywhere that he's just not taking. That like just take them. You know your offensive line can't hold up. We're not going to be able to get guys open down the field. Take the checkdowns, live to another play.
Nothing's in sync. You patch up one hole and then water comes rushing through the other. Caleb
like
throws a
gumming a
bad.
dam.
Caleb throws a bad ball when someone's open. Someone's open, they drop the ball.
Yeah. He tries to throw it deep when there's a guy underneath that you like take the 6 yards.
Exactly. And then the offensive line breaks down. I swear, too, they just don't use the middle of the field.
Ever.
Like, does it not
Ever.
exist in
Dude,
this team?
that graphic where they showed Cole Kmet
I know.
late in the fourth quarter, 0 targets, 0 receptions, 0 yards. He is in a Pro Bowl caliber tight end who you just paid. He's one of your captains. He's a guy that like the organization believes in. They can't scheme up anything for him.
I saw a stat at something like we're like 8-3 or something when he gets over 50 yards. Like I don't know exactly what the stat was, but it's
Sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Because you said they're a bad team, and I said at halftime they're not a bad team. But you know what? I know what you're saying when you said they are a bad team because they're not performing.
They're a bad.
No,
they're a
they're-
bad culture. They're a
yeah.
talented guy with a bad culture.
right.
They're
And
not
I
a-
don't know what DJ Moore is doing. I tweeted that clip. I know that illegal touching is a thing that maybe he was like, once I step out willingly, I can't come back in. I don't want him to throw me the ball. But it looked like he stepped out willingly. It looked like he quit on the play because he thought maybe Caleb Williams was about to get sacked. I don't know what his deal is. Like, would it be crazy to trade him? At this point, I'm trying to give. I like DJ Moore a lot. I think he's a really, really good receiver. There's been more than a few occurrences so far this year where it's like, that's weird.
Yeah.
And he was one of the guys who was as vocal as possible about Justin Fields.
Yeah.
So what's up? I don't know.
He was very vocal about Justin Fields. But
He got his money, and I'm happy he got his money. He's a really talented receiver, but it feels like something is up.
He's frustrated. I got 2 things.
But you got to be a leader when you're
right.
frustrated. You're not. You can't be the guy who just is frustrated all the time. Like that doesn't solve anything.
It
that will
doesn't.
never get us better.
I was told last night from someone I trust that
Remember Derrick Rose's limo driver?
that was AJ Pearson.
AJ was going to get.
AJ told you.
No. AJ, the limo
was
driver
in
told
an
you
emo.
AJ was getting popped for steroids.
No. Who
No,
was,
yeah, you
told
told me a
that Derrick Rose was playing when, remember that whole season was like, will he play, will he not?
No, that
You
No, yes, yeah, I remember
definitely
this.
did.
Yeah,
You're
said
like, I have it on good authority.
a limo driver told me that Derrick Rose will play this season.
Either way, I want
remember
all your
this.
sources because I like it. I
well,
don't
this is
give a-
someone.
We're not journalists.
Do you want me to tell you? The
I do.
source?
We're not. I just want to say I'm defending you. We're not journalists. I like the random sources. Those are my favorite.
This isn't.
We're
This
never
isn't
gonna
a
be
random source.
Okay.
This is someone who's very connected to Bears ownership.
Why'd you eat the onion?
For Derrick Rose, that was like,
when he hurt his knee.
Yeah,
that was in
Okay.
like
That was to help it heal.
2012.
Yeah.
So many years they all just
They
wash
do blend together. I was told this is the first I've heard this that Kevin Warren wanted to fire Eberflus in the offseason. It was Pohl's call, and he said no.
I'm sick of Kevin Warren. I don't want him around either.
No one.
His
but,
job is useless.
If that was the first I had heard that, I don't know if that's ever been public or anything.
Closest thing to that was Schefter in January said that the Bears had long meetings for 2 days about the future of Matt Eberflus and have decided to keep him. So it was clearly a discussion point at the end of the year. And then Why would Poles do that?
I have no idea.
I don't
'cause
understand.
I'm a big Poles guy, and I've said consistently that this year, I don't want to call it a punt year. It's time to win year. However, I know that offensive line is going to be fixed this offseason. There's no other way. There's no chance that they don't take a lot of players in the draft on the offensive line, signing free agents, trades, whatever.
No, listen. I'm a Poles guy, but he deserves equal blame in all of this.
Totally.
He was the one who kept Eberflus, and he's the one who the offensive line has not been fixed. He's done some really great things. The Panthers trade obviously is going to be one of the best. Like, that was a fleecing, but you can't just ignore the fact that he kept, like, if Matt Eberflus and his coaching staff ruins Caleb Williams, that goes into Ryan
definitely.
Poles' entire resume.
Totally.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably been the hardest on him, and that just makes me even more pissed.
Because it's
take that with a grain of salt. I will say that.
Okay.
I wasn't told this directly from Virginia McCaskey, obviously, but it's someone that I very much trust, and that made me fucking sick.
That story shocks me because that always smelled like McCaskey's to me.
That's exactly what I always thought. I always
So-
thought they didn't want to pay Harbaugh the $10 million a year or whatever.
Yeah,
and
no,
They didn't want to pay two coaches at the same
time, right?
We just know the right comes from the top.
Now,
Yeah, they'll never fire a coach mid-season. They never have.
They never have,
100
yeah.
years. It's crazy.
George is going to be going sweet to sweet, eating popcorn, saying "oh shucks," and
they don't want. And here's the biggest problem: is they don't want like a true football guy alpha personality, because they did that with Ditka and they have not done it since.
too.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't want someone who's going to be bigger than Papa Hallis and the Bears franchise. But guess what? You got to fucking get a guy who can change the culture in the place.
Yeah, set the watch January. I think they play the Packers the last game of the season, January 6th. So January 7th or 8th, we'll hear from them. No one's going to be more disappointed than George. He's going to tell us.
Yep.
Except for his mom.
Yeah, except for his mom. Yes,
His
you're
mom's
right.
mad.
Sorry.
And they're gonna hire someone who's just a slap dick that we'll all be excited about, because we have no other choice, and it's gonna be a guy who's gonna be a yes man again.
Yep.
And that's, I mean, think about all the coaches
Now,
since
in a
Ditka. They don't want to get a guy who will be bigger than the Bears. And I'm sorry, but get a fucking guy who's bigger than the Bears if he can coach football. That's why people were saying Belichick. Do you think they would fucking hire Belichick?
Fuck no.
There's no chance.
No chance.
They would never let a guy come in and have all control.
They would never talk to him.
Yeah.
They would never get to that close to that.
That's why they didn't even interview Harbaugh, because Harbaugh is a guy who comes in and he wants total control, and you give him total control because he changes your franchise.
All right, let's talk about Vanderhagen razors. You should make the switch from cartridge razors to a safety razor today with Vanderhagen. Safety razors allow you to get a closer, more comfortable shave. The use of one-bladed razors help prevent nicks and cuts while making your skin feel smoother than ever. And the best part is these razors cost as little as $1 a piece and last anywhere from 3 to 5 shaves. This will save you thousands of dollars over the year compared to the cost of cartridge razors. The blades are also ice-tempered. They're stainless steel blades from Germany that are sharp enough to give you the perfect shave. If you're ready to step up your shaving game, get the smoothest, closest shave with our single blade and shave butter combo. Say goodbye to nicks and irritation, and hello to a shave that's almost too smooth to handle. Get a shave so smooth it should come with a warning. Perfectly close, incredibly soft. This is how real men shave. Check out your local Target and Walmart to get yourself a Vanderhagen safety razor today. And if you're serious about your grooming game, hit that follow button at Vanderhagen. Stay in the loop with the latest shaving tips, product drops, and exclusive giveaways. Whether you're mastering the art of the close shave or just looking to keep it fresh, our Instagram is where the best in men's grooming comes to life. Join the community, level up your shave, and keep your style sharp. I didn't realize, besides John Fox, and there might be one more guy back in the day, we've never really hired a coach that had a previous job.
A previous head coaching job?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess not. Dick Duran didn't.
Nope.
Duran, Nagy,
Wani, no, not
Ditka.
no.
Oh.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That is.
In a hypothetical world,
They want to mold him in his own way. Yeah,
that's what I was.
And John
gonna
Fox
ask.
is John Fox was, kind of on his this is my last chance. So
Yeah.
he was kind of beaten down at that point.
And even that whole story, it was a great piece in the Tribune about that whole draft, the Mahomes-Trubisky draft, where they made it clear that they already knew they were firing Fox.
Yeah.
So they didn't include him in the pre-draft analysis of their most important pick that they could possibly, because we don't trust our head coach. We think he's this stupid. We're keeping him, but he's too stupid to be involved in the scouting and drafting of a franchise quarterback.
I remember when we hired John Fox, I wanted Mike Shanahan. That's who I wanted. They would never let Mike Shanahan near this organization.
Yeah, and listen, at the time, and we don't got to get too deep into those years, but I thought Fox was a good hire after the trade.
Well, it was going to be like a respectable, right. But
even now, that's a pattern.
Yeah,
offensive guru, upstart, back to deep, boring defense, and it's just, I'm sure we'll get some offensive guy next time.
If we get Ben Johnson, I'll be over the moon. Anyone else?
That's the thing. Would Ben Johnson even want to come here?
Not anymore.
I would, yeah,
because he's had options.
He supposedly was interested in the Bears job last year,
and I heard that was not true, though. I heard that was actually
the timing of that rumor was very interesting. The fact that it was right when Eberflus was under fire, and then they were like, "Hey, let's stick the knife in it." It just all sucks. It all sucks, and. Yeah, I mean, the season's over. I don't really know what to say. I think we're going to get our ass we're going to absolutely destroyed in the conference, or in the division. Yeah. And I don't know, like, how many wins do you think are left on the schedule? I think they could maybe become a 7-win team.
I guess people who think like we're being too negative, like we said last week, now we have to go 6-3.
No, we watched that game on Sunday. If we weren't streaming that game, I would have turned that game off. Because it was that bad.
Yeah.
I was ready to leave. Yeah. I was about to.
I did my video with like 5 minutes left. I was like, this is over.
You know who it should have been over for at that point? It's Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is he still in the game and he hurts his ankle in the last series? Why? Like, that is such basic head coach 101. You get your franchise quarterback out of a blowout loss when he's running for his life the entire fucking game, and then they ask him about it in the postgame. He's like, we're working on 2-minute, we're working on timing.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my God.
Well, at least Darnell Wright is still healthy.
We got Ryan and I got a text from my high school football coach last night, and he's like, I would have not done that in a varsity game. Left my quarterback in with that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's I didn't even think to bring that up. Yeah, I mean that was
crazy,
insane.
It was nuts.
He's so desperate because he doesn't know what to do. I mean, you saw it last week where he basically spent 3 days getting bullied about Stevenson and getting bullied about not taking any ownership. And then now he's gone the other way where it's like he takes ownership right away, but it's like, who cares? You fucking suck.
And it feels like disingenuous.
Right.
It feels like he's only punishing Stevenson because of the river of shit that he was in all week.
Do you think he'll punish DJ more?
I don't know. I want to give DJ more the benefit of the doubt because I'm not an expert. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be one of those guys who goes online and is like, oh, he quit on this play. Like maybe it was illegal touching. He didn't want to have Caleb throw him the ball. Did he come in? I don't know.
He played the rest.
Did he come in the next play? Because he played the rest of the game.
Yeah,
so it clearly wasn't an injury that was like so severe that it's just a bad look. I don't know.
That play ended at about the 11-minute mark of the first quarter, 0-0. So he definitely played after that. He does, like, as he's walking off, he's like walking a little gingerly, but he's still.
I've never seen that.
You are right, though, about Eberflus when he speaks now. It looks like he is a nervous wreck, and he doesn't even believe a lot of the things he's saying anymore. Like, he's
hoping
lost.
to say the correct thing, and it's just...
And you can and like, if everyone can read right through it, imagine if you're a guy who's been in the locker room with him for a couple of years.
Was this your final straw, Dave? Because just 10 days ago, I was shocked to hear on that show with PFT that you said you're completely, you're in.
Because I know, like, I'm trying to look at this from a bird's eye view, and I know we all knew the offensive line was probably the problem. Gervon Dexter and the defensive line was also a question, but Dexter has kind of answered that to an extent. Offensive line, I know exactly we all know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to sink a ton of draft capital, trade capital, and financial capital into the offensive line. So that's where I was like, all right, keep the team together. It's Caleb's first year. You got 4 more years on top of that. You know, don't embarrass yourselves this year. Go out and prove to the league that you are on the right path. And I thought that the coaching staff could maybe do that, but it's very clear that they can't.
Yeah,
And I will say this too. I really think, and I know he just got fired yesterday, I think they downgraded at the offensive coordinator position. As bad as Getsy is.
Yeah.
Like, that's not
Look,
me saying I want Getsy back at all. I'm saying that they actually downgraded from a dog shit offensive coordinator.
We knew it going into it, because this was the whole thing where it's like, you keep Eberflus, who's going to want that job? Who wants that offensive coordinator job?
No, you're not picking from the top of the pile.
Right.
And it's just, but yeah, it was my final straw. Like I was hoping that they were going to get off the mat and rally after the Commanders' loss and show fight, and that was just, it just wasn't even close to that. Wasn't even close to that.
Yeah, when that injury report, because I did that mental gymnastics too. I bet the Bears. I'm like,
I lost so much money on
this is a circle the wagons kind of game, like us against the world, that kind of, and like a real leader and a real coach might be able to deliver home that message. When the injury report came out, and it was like, well, Sweat's out with a shin. I think they had 3 or 4 other guys that were out. It's just like
they're starting Larry Borum at left tackle.
Yeah.
They're fucked.
I hate to do it because, obviously you do a show with him, but you look at a team like the Commanders, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
The Bears have
They
more
hired a new
talented
coach.
roster than the team, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
And that credit to them. I'm not taking anything away from the
No,
Commanders.
they've done a great job this
Yeah,
year.
and
They've done what I thought the Bears were doing, and it clearly, like, because I thought, and I said it, that Caleb Williams was going into the best spot in #1 team. And listen, through 6 weeks, he was the first guy who was ever over 500 through 6 weeks as the #1 pick, and the defense was great. And you got him all the weapons that we always wanted a Bears quarterback to have, but just the culture is so
bad.
So bad.
They laid
so
40.
rotten.
They laid 42 points in that Cardinals defense. We couldn't score a touchdown.
Yeah. No, it's just all rotten.
That's what it is.
It's the exact
rotten.
same spot.
And it's rotten from the top.
Yeah. It's not going to change. They're just not a serious organization. And I'll, when we hire a new guy and we draft a bunch of offensive linemen in the offseason, I'll get fucking excited and I'll be pumped up and I'll be like, this is going to be different. And then we'll just do it again. In 2 years, I'll be like, hey, guess what? It didn't work out. Wow.
We knew it too, though. We knew it.
I mean, we knew it in the fact that we knew we all wanted someone other than Eberflus, but it was
yeah.
You were hoping that offensive coordinator hire would
exactly
you would hope the talent would be able to is he so bad that he can't get this roster where it needs to go and clear that stat? So someone told me the stat where he hadn't won a road game on a Sunday. Someone tweeted at me before the game, and I'm like, that stat just sounds so fake. Like, how can that be possible? And then I actually went and looked it up before the game. Like, holy shit. Like that, this is year 3. You haven't won a road game on a Sunday?
You play a lot of road games on Sundays.
Oh, my God. And it's like, and you said about trading DJ Moore. I'm not there yet with him. I would try to trade Keenan Allen before the deadline. What's the fucking point of having him on this team?
I agree with that.
So if you can get a 4th or 5th or who cares? Get him off the book and it's almost like you need to do a mini rebuild already.
Yeah.
Like just get more draft picks, get numbers, money off the books. And again, it's not.
I don't agree with that.
Why?
I just think it's the chefs. We just need new chefs.
Yeah, but no.
I think we got some good ingredients. We just need new chefs.
Do you want to re-sign him next year, Keenan Allen?
No. He hasn't been good enough to get re-signed. Sure.
Exactly. So if you can get something for him now,
no, you're right.
But I don't think what we'll get for him would be worth. I think he'd be more valuable to just let him walk. I do.
How?
I just don't. I just don't think it's
like his clubhouse.
I don't think it's 6. Yeah, I just think for
I mean,
clubhouse
you
is
do have to
anyways
play
with him,
but you do have to play more games. If he can, if you can figure out a way to write it a little bit, he still is important in terms of like being a big body that can catch the ball over the middle, which we don't do. It's just
now
in the detail like that. The game. People will say the game broke at the end of the half. The game broke when we got that penalty for the field goal. That was it. That was the moment the game broke because we stopped them. The defense was still playing well. You get that stupid penalty. Details matter. You can't. They call it now all the time. Whether you think it was warranted or not, because he didn't actually like jump into the long snapper. He like kind of pushed off of him. It doesn't matter. They call it every time.
And you learn that your first year in football.
They call it all the time. And so we saw it on Monday Night Football. They called it against the Steelers. Like, you just can't do that. And that was where I feel like everything broke.
I thought
that's what
Keenan
poorly
Allen drop on fourth down.
That's what poorly coached teams do.
Yeah.
They do dumb shit like that.
Details matter.
Yeah.
And we're bad at the details.
Yeah. We got a bad coach. I thought we'd be able to maybe win in spite of him, but we cannot.
No.
Yeah, we always knew there would be a ceiling with Eberflus.
Yep.
I didn't think that the floor would be this bad.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Because, sure, first year, his roster was not.
Right.
He was put in a spot to lose the first year, so I don't
Totally.
count that fully against him. But I count the 0-18 on Sundays.
How the fuck does that happen?
I count whatever it is, 4 or 5 games. I think it's under him where we've been leading in the 2-minute warning and lost the game. Like those
By multiple scores.
Yeah.
Many times. I mean, it's
Don't get it. We got voicemails.
One question. So last year the season kind of flipped when they traded for Sweat. I haven't looked. Is there an offensive lineman on the trade block that they could kind of do the same thing with right now?
I don't think there's a guy in football who could turn this around. I really don't.
I mean,
who are you going to
more than just one line?
No, of course they're more than one lineman, but that would be like the start of it being like, hey, we're doing everything in our power to get you help Caleb, so you're not running for your life every fucking play.
No.
I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe it's a very bad situation.
Lance.
Yep. So frustrating. Not even Thanksgiving. Not even
The season is done. Chalk it up. I don't know what the fuck we were thinking going into this season with Eberflus as our head coach. We should have known from day one. We're not going anywhere with this guy. Why do we do this? Why do we get our hopes up every year? Why don't we just go into the season expecting that we're going to be shit? And that way we can be pleasantly surprised if we're anything better than that. But no, this season's done. I am pretty confident we're going to go 0-6 against the NFC North. And I think Eddie said it best. We can't even beat the Patriots the way we look right now. Chalk it up, boys.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if we lose that.
No. What? Why not?
Which is crazy, but it's
same. Yeah, that's
now.
what.
Does anybody think he'll get fired mid-year?
No.
They won't do it.
Even if they lose the Patriots?
They won't do it. I mean, they could, but they literally have never done it.
I think it would have to be like a long, like 5+ games losing streak where they look bad. It's very clear that
If they didn't fire Trestman midseason, I don't think they would
yeah,
do it.
That was a clown car.
That was as bad as it's ever
So
been.
is this.
that's the worst. Yeah,
Can't you?
that's-
But like, you can't.
This isn't that.
Learn from your experiences one time.
No,
Like the Saints just fired their coach.
they're cheap. They're cheap.
On the expectations thing, I know this is kind of a swear word now, but I don't apologize for having expectations.
No.
And those expectations, like, it's not. It wasn't a hope. It was an expectation because of the roster. It's like I expect this coaching staff to get the best out of this roster. They haven't. They failed. They get fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll never apologize for having expectations and optimism because again, I've said it a million times, but like what else are we supposed to do as fans? Are we supposed to sit here all summer and be like, no, this team's actually going to suck?
I'm separating optimism and expectations, though. It wasn't me being optimistic, I don't think.
I was
mean,
optimistic.
It was me. Like, the expectation was that I think this team should be fucking good because of player X, Y, Z, A, B, it doesn't matter. And it's not. And they failed those expectations. They haven't met them, so you got to fucking fire everybody. Shane Waldron's he's the worst offensive coordinator I've ever seen.
I thought he figured it out for a couple weeks there because it felt like he did.
Yeah.
And it was the Panthers and the Jaguars. But, yeah. God damn it. What do you think happens? I was thinking about this morning, shower thought. What happens if Stevenson does guard that Hail Mary? Do you think they come out and play a lot better on Sunday?
I would think so.
I would
think so,
assume
too.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that probably broke the team.
The crazy thing, too, is a lot of this is division-based.
Yeah.
We're not in this division. this is a different conversation.
Yeah, no. If we're in the NFC South, if we're in the NFC West,
Yeah,
we're sitting there at 4-4. I mean, the NFC West is the Cardinals are leading it 5-4.
Yeah,
so.
and then we play the tug of war game all year. We're in, we're out, we're in, we're out. Now it's
and we couldn't even enjoy the Packers getting fucking smoked at home.
Nope.
Like that was we were robbed of that.
demoed.
We were robbed of that because the Lions are insane and they're going to win the division. They're going to run away with the division, even though they're only a game up on the Vikings, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And now we don't even get the joy of that.
No. Like the only hope is that they do a Cubs where they had new owners come in.
Never going to happen.
Yeah.
Never going to happen. I mean, I maybe. I don't. It's never gonna happen. They're happy to fucking own a team that they got for $100 and a bushel of blueberries. Fucking $100.
But that's like there's
$1 billion. It's a $6 billion organization, and we're still cheap as fuck.
It's crazy, man. Lance.
Hey there, boys. I got to say, I think we really should have named this show Dark Thoughts because that's the past 2 weeks, that's all I really gotten. Before I get into it, I want to say thoughts and prayers for the Big Cat. He's going through some pain that I'm all too familiar with the kidney stones. Pete out one at the end of a pencil.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the eraser side. So thoughts and prayers for you. Boys, I got to say that I think the season's over. Eberflus out. Poles out. Bear down, but boy.
Yeah, if that story, Dave, is true that Poles advocated for Eberflus, then he's got to go too. Which is a shame because I do think he's built a pretty talented roster and made some great moves. But that's your most important move.
It is your most important move, Dan. Would you trade the Hail Mary for any of these kidney stones to be?
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
You'd keep the kidney stones.
Yeah.
Piss
I mean,
more?
I'm
Have you
I'm
passed
on
them yet?
painkillers right now. No, I'm still waiting to piss one out. I got 3 in my kidney that are smaller, and then 1 that's just working its way down.
Oof.
And I don't know because I said it on PMT like that. I was in the ER this weekend, and the worst part of my weekend was by far the Bears. But yeah, I was in like crazy pain on Saturday, crazy pain on Sunday morning. I haven't been in pain since Sunday morning, so I don't know if I feel like I would have felt it if I pissed it out.
This is your first.
No, I've had them before. I had one before.
Can you call it your first child since it's worse than women giving birth?
Listen, the pain is pretty fucking bad, but it's weird because it's like when you have kidney stones, the pain, it comes and goes. It's not like persistent. It's basically when it moves around. So like Saturday, I was taking my kids to the zoo and I pulled in, and I think it moved out of my kidney, and I was like, my whole body like locked up, and I was in so much pain.
Back in the car, kids.
Yeah. Oh no, we didn't even get out of the car. And then my son was like, my wife showed we have like a science book, and it was like, this is what's happening with Daddy. And so then I came down. He's like, you got rocks in your belly? I was like, yeah.
He fucking loves rocks.
Yeah.
Even worse.
Doesn't he love rocks?
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm hoping I'll piss it out soon because it sucks.
Is that the worst part, or supposed to be?
All of it is the worst part because when it moves, so it moves from your kidney to your ureter or whatever the fuck it's called, not urethra, your ureter. And your ureter has a shitload of nerve endings, so like it basically is just a little sharp rock that's just hitting all the nerves in that ureter.
Fuck.
And then it goes into the bladder, and then from the bladder out of the bladder, it hurts again. I think that was Sunday morning, so I think it's just sitting there ready to get pissed out, but it won't come out. Or it broke up and I already
Can
pissed
we
out.
get
I don't know.
your
And I'm also
buddy
on
the
pain
phone?
pills, so I don't know if I'm like if I stop taking pain pills, will it just be agonizing pain? I have no idea.
Maybe you're just numb to everything now.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just everything sucks.
Everything sucks.
Not a good stretch.
I was so excited for this year too.
So excited. I watched the Badgers get fucking blown out on Saturday night.
Yeah, that was bad.
I've lost some bad football games the last 2 weeks. It's just one of those times where it's like, what if I just stopped caring about, like, what if I stopped having teams and just started like trying to get really good at gambling? That would be fun.
Yeah.
I was like, I have 2 picks every Sunday and they always win. And that's who I'm rooting for. I don't give a fuck what else happens. Be a nice life.
That'd be great.
It would have to get the 2 picks to always win.
Sometimes I hope I have a family member that like gets an important job for another team. So I'd be like, I'm rooting for the Broncos because like my cousin's the GM or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Owner.
I couldn't do that though. If my brother got a job for like the Cubs or Patriots or Pat,
Yeah, you would start. But if you on the Cubs, I know you wouldn't root for him. But if your brother won a World Series,
no, I wouldn't. I can promise you, I would not in any way want him to win that World Series. I would make it very vocal.
What if he made so much money that he just gave you money?
No, blood
Okay.
money.
Okay.
I have not many morals. I have some, and that's one of them.
Okay. What about another team? What if he was like an executive?
The
of
Rockies.
Rays.
I would accept the money for that.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, like Packers, Notre Dame,
Yeah.
Cubs,
Sure.
Yankees. That's Patriots used to be, but they're fucked up.
Speaking of them, they're barring that they don't fuck up here. They're a lock, right?
Who?
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If they go 11-1,
Yeah, yeah.
I am anticipating a fuck up. I don't know where it's going to be.
Who's left?
You said that about our
Florida
They
State
got
this
Florida
week.
State this week.
Easy win.
They'll win that easily. Then they have Army at a neutral. Then they have UVA at home. I'm going to that with Malisac. And
That should be an easy win.
that should be a win.
Yeah, they're bad.
And then they have Army, I think, at Yankee Stadium, and then at USC. So, but like you lose to Northern Illinois, you can lose to anybody.
Yeah,
so
true.
They're not even good. I
Northern. No, they've
like
lost to
5.
like Buffalo and Marshall and
Yeah.
whatever. So, I think Notre Dame should get in, but I have no hopes for them. Like it's whatever. It's whatever. They're just all the teams are just fucking whatever.
Let's take another break to talk about DraftKings. The NBA is finally back. A new season means new ways to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes from beyond the arc? Who's crashing the boards and grabbing rebounds? Get behind your favorite players and the prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and place your bet. And if it's your first time, new DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Woo.
Take it to the rack with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code MID. That's code MID for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
There's no good team right now that you're looking forward to.
Do you have a future yet
What do you mean?
for college?
No, I have just Travis Hunter's Heisman 40-1. He's the best player in college football. If you're watching this right now and you have a Heisman vote, please do the right thing.
Doesn't sound like he's going to get it, though.
Why not?
I think Genti's going to get it.
No, I don't think so.
No?
I actually think it's Cam Ward right now is who I'm worried about because Cam Ward, Miami's going to go undefeated and they don't play anyone, and he's been lighting it up. So and quarterback is always a Miami quarterback.
It's a premium position.
Genti's obviously phenomenal, but he's slowed down his crazy pace a little bit.
He's down to like 9 yards a carry.
But here's the good news is Colorado with the chaos in the Big 12. If the Colorado wins out, they'll be in the Big 12 championship game, which that would be pretty hard to keep a guy out who could potentially be in the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty hard to not vote for. I mean, he's got to stay healthy, obviously. But
I get that Miami hasn't played anyone, but they're not undefeated without Cam Ward.
Oh no, definitely no. Cam Ward's incredible. He's been incredible. If he wins, I kind of will put my hands up and be like shit. But Travis Hunter. I mean, he's.
People like to give it to a defensive guy when they have a chance. So like they did.
I mean, he's an insane story. There's never been a college football player like him.
Even Woodson was not.
No, Woodson was not that.
Right.
He's playing 120 snaps a game.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Awards.
He's a stud.
Bears might be picking high enough to get him.
It's Cam Ward is 2-1.
And that's something to talk about at this point. When are we talking about?
Cam Ward is 2-1. Travis Hunter is plus 220. So he's right there.
Right there.
Dylan Gabriel's plus 290. Genti's plus 500.
Okay. I thought Genti was in the driver's seat.
He was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
sure.
but it hasn't been. He had to have kept up like the insane pace that he was on.
Big one for LSU this weekend. I need him.
I think that bet's dead, Ed.
Why?
To win the national championship?
Yeah, why?
not
If they get in.
We'll see. I don't think that team's that good. I don't trust a quarterback.
Who's that good, though? What team is
Nobody's
that good?
that good, but they have a quarterback deficiency. I know they got weapons, but
No, Blutman told me that's his number one quarterback, so
well,
I'm riding with Blutman.
yeah,
He's a good guy to ride with.
Yeah, for sure.
Except when he picks Syracuse and then fucking
he was also
throws 5 interceptions.
we had him on for college basketball before the tournament, and like everything he said was wrong. Like literally every pick was wrong.
Is Indiana locked with one loss?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm surprised it's taking them so long to get in the top 10.
It's
Yeah,
they
just
haven't
haven't
played
played
anybody.
I know,
Yeah,
but
like
like,
Charlotte.
They've been killing everyone.
Kill everybody.
You think
Destroy-
they fuck up against Michigan?
I don't think
Michigan's
so.
not. They're not good.
I know they're not, but
Indiana's
No, I don't
offense
think
is
so.
a legitimate fucking wagon.
I think they'll
It's so-
they'll lose to Ohio State, but I think that game will be closer than people
Yeah, I
expect.
think that'll be.
What's
the
it-
game.
Is that this week?
No, next
It's next week because they're gonna. After that, they'll run the table for sure.
Yeah.
They definitely should get in. That team's very good.
Yeah. Really good.
anything
And
else?
their fan base is the most insufferable fan base when they have a good team. By the way, like I don't dislike
yeah,
Indiana.
definitely.
They're tough.
It's in 2020 when they had Penix, and it was a pandemic,
Yeah,
so they were like
yeah.
8-1 or 8-2 or something. Whatever, it was a limited amount of games. Their fan base thought they were the greatest team in history. It was
They did get screwed though. They got screwed being
That
not in
year.
the Big Ten championship
Yeah.
game.
who should have.
They put Ohio State in. Remember there was it was the whole Michigan forfeited the game
Yes.
because of COVID.
Yeah,
I think Indiana had a better record overall, but they were like put in Ohio State.
Yeah.
So they got screwed. Yeah, everything sucks. I don't know what else to say. Everything fucking sucks. It's exactly where we've been a million times. This one feels like it hurts even
it's
more
gonna
than
because
the
the
last ones.
number one pick and having that, you
Yeah.
know, that guy and
And it's so
fuck it up.
so much different than when it was Mitch too.
I
I never. I
never thought he was gonna. Yeah.
And I know people will say like, "Oh, you guys are just harping on Eberflus," but I agree with every move except keeping Eberflus.
Correct.
Like the Justin Fields thing that has been put to bed. He's on the bench
Yeah.
for Russell Wilson. Like let's not go back
No,
in
this was
time
the right
and be like,
move.
yeah, pick some offensive linemen and keep Justin Field and trade around. That never made sense. That never made sense. Maybe you get DJ Moore trying a little harder, but that never made sense. Eberflus was the death of this team and the offensive line, but fuck, sucks. How is going on Fox?
It was
Who was on with you?
me, Spiegel, Lou, and Tina. Yeah, Spiegel said he thinks they could sleepwalk and beat the Patriots. And I was like, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
Yeah, I was like, I don't. Yeah,
It's like Drake May has not looked bad. I mean, I know he's had some turnovers, but he's moved the ball.
yeah. And they didn't seem like I said what we said, like, oh, the season's over, and they're like, yeah, I don't want to think about that. But I was like, well, it is.
Yeah, think about it.
Yeah.
It's time
It's
to
right
think
in
about
front
it.
of your face. You
Yeah.
don't have to think about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Now Billings is hurt too. Like,
Who are we gonna beat? Who are we gonna beat?
I mean, if not the Patriots, then honestly,
not.
Well,
maybe.
let's just say we're 5-4. We're not gonna beat the Packers.
Nope.
Maybe beat the Vikings.
Yeah, maybe split with them. What did they do
Maybe.
last night? Because I couldn't watch football. After
They
that.
were really
Bored.
bad in the first half, and then Darnold started lighting it up.
It's the worst part about my teams being who they are is that I couldn't watch the football game last night when I got home after the Bears game because I had to avoid football. I had to avoid ESPN.com. I didn't even know who won that fucking football game last night until Dan just said it.
Yeah.
And it fucking sucks. They just sucked the joy out of my life.
Yeah.
I started watching the Penguin though. It's pretty good.
There you go.
The Bulls are a perfect 3-3.
Nice.
Yep.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
in that-
right where Jerry wants them.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Dangle
Perfect
that
3-3.
carrot, right? You did say, and I did notice box scores this morning prior to that the Hawks are playing okay hockey.
They had a decent road trip. How
about that?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that? A
Let's
decent
go.
road trip.
They beat the other worst team in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
November hockey. Let's go.
I have some people in their hockey ops that I text with, and someone was like, I posted Dylan Strome stats because he's unbelievable. And he's like, why don't you just stick to crying about the Bears? I'm like, why don't you figure out how to put a good team on the ice? And, like, so then he and I were going back and forth about the Hawks because I was just like, I'll worry about my tweets. You worry about putting a good team on the ice.
Yeah. That's like,
I kind of like that he chirped you, though. That's
yeah, but he
funny.
Is
it? No, he chirped you because he knows it's true.
Yeah.
That's what I would be like, what the, and it has happened to me with the White Sox before. I just, that makes me sick.
Yeah. It's like, we'll be good in 3 years. I'm like, oh, okay, so a 7-year rebuild? He's like, you'll be having a great time in 3 years. I'm like, 3 years? What are you talking about?
Yeah, what exactly? Like, what? That so.
And today, Dan, is Bird's Nest Day. We're going to.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't think I have a shot?
How many?
30 and a
30
half.
wings in the first half.
So like an hour and a half.
I give a shot. I mean, you surprised me with everything.
Well, this is something
good and bad.
We've never like.
Do you guys agree with that statement?
Oh,
like
100%.
White Sox Dave is one of those guys where if you ask me, if he says I'm going to do this, it's always a coin flip.
I will never be bored of White Sox.
Yeah, it's always a coin flip. Like if he's like, I'm going to fucking lift 1,000 pounds, I'm like, he could maybe do that.
Yeah.
Even the basketball challenge against Jack McCarthy.
Yeah, right.
I was
You
like,
just talk yourself into it.
Yeah, and I'm like, I was like the main advocate of being like, no way. And then right when they were about to tip, I was like,
yeah.
I don't know,
He
Dave
just
might get him.
I know. He's just, you got that about you where it's just like,
But
I don't ever count you out, but I also always count you out.
You haven't seen me. You haven't seen me binge eat though. Like I have that irrational confidence and confidence.
And it sometimes like gets on to other people where you'll say it so much, I'm like, fuck.
But eating it is not irrational.
We got it.
I can eat like a fucking
who's
horse
gonna be
for
the
real.
Who's going to be the bone
official
check? Yeah,
bone check guy.
Yeah.
Oh no, that won't be an issue. That I promise that won't be an issue.
I don't think
Yeah.
that'll be.
That would
I
be
think
an
you could eat 12 faster than anybody. I don't know that you can eat 30 in an hour and a half.
We'll see.
Well, who's coming?
That's a lot of wings.
So
Luke
Yeah,
and Connor?
Yeah,
coming?
Luke and Connor.
They're small wings though.
I think do any of them have
they're
credibility?
smaller
'Cause
than the wings I typically eat. Yes.
He won't let us do it. So who would either of them be
Connor could
qualified
be good
to
at
do this?
that.
Connor? Okay.
And I want
no.
you to have good
I don't-
You have to have good conversation with
I
Luke
don't
and
care
Connor.
who does the meat check on
But
the wings.
you have to also be conversing with
Yeah,
Luke and Connor
of course.
because you're going out to dinner with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um.
It's a 2-for-1.
This isn't but like I said though, I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to do it by any means, but like I'm not intimidated by this challenge. Like with the Jack McCarthy thing, I was not intimidated. I was worried about that one.
Do you have a strategy?
No, I'm just going to eat normal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally just going to eat normal.
That was a genuine question.
No, I know.
That's
No,
a genuine answer.
So I ran. Not to brag, I ran this morning, so my metabolism's fucking flying. I'm going to do that again beforehand.
Oh shit.
So my metabolism will be, and I'm gonna have a nice light lunch.
Are you a flats or drums guy?
I don't care.
You don't care? So, but if, 20 drums show up and 10 flats, are you a little intimidated?
Bird nest sauce?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
No
you
sides?
gotta go to standard.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna sit there and casually eat like 6 and just enjoy them.
I'll enjoy these too.
Okay.
Are you going to eat beforehand, though? Like, did you have breakfast today?
I don't want you
no,
to stop at 30 either if you get to 30. You should keep going.
Yeah.
See if you can get to 40.
If I get to like 25 and I got 5 left and I'll just be miserably full, I'm gonna stop. I will force them down my throat. The only thing, I'm not gonna puke all over their establishment. I will say that.
Oh, I would like a
huge.
puke.
There you go. It's an easy walk outside. So
No,
you
I know.
definitely puke on the sidewalk
But I've
or on the street.
the one time I can ever remember eating so much I've puked was when I was like 10 years old, and it was at Old Country Buffet in Naperville, and big family, so we would go to those trashy places all the time. And I had so much pink frosting shit, like I don't know exactly, it was like cake or something, but it was bright pink. And I'm walking to the car after the restaurant and just puke all over the parking lot, and it was the pinkest puke you've ever seen in your life. And that's one time that I can remember.
I did it my sophomore year of college. We went to a Brazilian steakhouse with the little coins.
Yeah.
Parents'
Like
anniversary or
Chicago
something.
or
And then they drove me back up to college and dropped me off at a party. I had one sip of a beer and then just puked the entire
That's a
beer
great puke, though.
that, how
That
yeah.
feels so good.
out. Yeah.
Like I love puking when it's a non-sick puke.
Yeah.
Like because it's
Get it
just
out.
always just
A relief puke.
I can very much like boot and rally. Like I could puke and then just keep drinking.
Yeah, it wasn't the end of my night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my last puke was
It probably made your night all the better.
dinner with Stu Feiner, which
You
Puked after that?
yeah.
From what?
Yeah.
Too much?
Do you know how much food Stu?
I don't think
He's
I've
an
ever been
overeater.
out with Stu.
Yeah.
He's an overeater.
He literally had to go to like Overeaters Anonymous.
His saying is if you
I'm
don't
not
got
joking.
3 potatoes, you got none.
Yeah.
I'm on Stu's
At
side.
a steakhouse.
I went to Monteverde for the first time last week, and it was the most full I've been in a long time. And I think I ate I'm guessing I ate 3.5 pounds of food.
Love that. I love
How many pounds of is 30 wings, do you think? Because you got to take the bones away.
Yeah, I don't know.
No idea.
I wonder. And then lastly, I am mad at Jerry Reinsdorf because you missed out on that Yankees collapse that you would have been all over.
It's I
On the
would've-
which one?
the Yankees.
The Yankees collapse.
Oh, yeah.
See, I thought about firing up the old selfie video with the tall brim or the long brim rather in the dark and using only the TV as light, but it was a 3-1 series. And what am I going to do to talk shit? I'm the biggest.
I know, that's right.
Yeah,
mad
but the
at
way
Jerry.
they lost,
It was
that 5th inning was just so bad.
one of the worst I've ever seen.
So now that the offseason is here, there's a lot of like mock free agency, like where they going to go. A lot of people are saying Rizzo would be a nice fit on the south side because he's.
I was going to say, do you think he's going to come home? Do you think he's going to go to the Cubs?
He's not gonna
I
go to the
think
Cubs.
he resents the fuck.
I do
Yeah.
too.
I think
it would
he
be nice
probably-
if he did,
Yeah.
even in a platoon role. But yeah,
I think
probably
his
agree.
career is kind of that wouldn't be a fit for the Cubs right now. I don't think.
No, just more. Yeah, you're probably right.
I hope
For
I'm
the-
wrong, but I also think that that's going to be like a
How old is he?
like a bad blood situation to monitor, even
Yeah.
to monitor even when he retires.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like not like Sammy bad, but
yeah.
unfortunately,
sucks.
yeah, it does suck.
That's a what is Chris Bryant like still playing or alive or
Yeah, he
anything?
just makes like $200 million playing in the Rockies. He's got an awesome
Playing
life.
100.
I mean, what a life.
That hurt a lot. Yeah,
No one's gonna give him shit for anything.
no.
He lives in Denver. It's probably so sick.
Yeah, probably has a nice mountain view.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes a shitload of money. He plays,
Zero
he plays.
pressure.
He doesn't, he
Nobody
doesn't.
remembers him.
Yeah, it's great.
All right.
All right.
Anything else? All right. Final prediction: does he complete the challenge? Big-
Yeah, I think so.
I think
Chief.
But I think he completes the challenge. It does not mean that he's right in saying that birds' nests are the same as Buff Joe's.
Yeah.
Correct.
Fact.
I want that very much on the record because I
okay.
don't want you to take a victory lap being like, I told you guys it was the same as Buff Joe's. Because if you told me you were eating 30 Buff Joe's, I'd be like, that's
Child's
like an
play.
appetizer.
Yeah.
I've only been to Buff Joe's I think 2-3 times and not since the last time you and I went, which was 2019. So
Yeah.
as always, I reserve the right to be wrong. I just in my head
Yeah.
they
I'm rooting for you. I want you to complete the challenge. But
I think
don't
he'll do
want,
it.
I think you
I
do
do.
it.
I
too.
think you.
I think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's not like a me being cocky.
You want to make it 35?
I might. Maybe I will.
I looked it up. It's 4.5 pounds of meat.
Oh, it's not that bad.
With or without the bones.
It's hard to find that.
It's probably without.
I would guess with.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
All right, then.
Do we have a
Listen, I
scale
think you do
here?
it.
Who's the drug dealer in the office? Where's Conrad at?
Jack McCarthy.
Well,
Or
so-
Jack McCarthy. Duh. We need to
that's
get a
it.
scale here so we can measure how much food I ate.
The results will be shown on our YouTube page and Rumble
Friday,
page
right?
on Friday, and I think there will be clips of the whole dilemma on the yak, right, Dan?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So there will be clips and stuff on the yak. So tune in Friday. We'll also have an interview too. So that's it. Thanks everybody. See ya.